Hello, hello, and welcome to Tuesday Talk. I'm already injured here and pain all over me, so it should be an interesting night. If you're coming on, I stream live on both Facebook and on my Tuesday Talk channel. And I got a notification from StreamYard that said there might be some difficulty streaming to Facebook. I don't know whether that's on Facebook's end or on StreamYard's end, but either way, there might be a problem on Facebook. Hey, Charlene, how are you? I see a snow, your little emojis, a snowflake, a snowman, and a globe, a crystal ball. You can hear me okay? Hey, Gretchen, sound check. Yay. Okay, cool. Like I said, Facebook, if anybody comes on to watch Facebook, there might be a problem with that tonight. Hey, Jenna, you be careful. Okay, good. All right, well, listen, it's all about the snow globes tonight, and it's going to be exciting right up to the end because I'm either going to make it snow tonight or I'm not, okay? So I'm going to save that project till the very end. So I'm going to kind of pick up where we left off last week, because through the week I've had some revelations about, we did this last week. And, you know, I thought about it and I thought, to decoupage on there, I should have painted that white on the background, because you know how when you're using rice paper, when you are painting on a furniture piece or something, you usually paint white underneath it. So I think with all that dark underneath, that's why these images didn't show up that well. So that was one of my revelations. And I was talking to Jenna because she's all about the Halloween. We're still going strong with Halloween. And we're also going to talk about all different kinds of resin tonight, because I'm going to be using all different kinds of resin tonight. So, and I hope we have the screen a little bit better for you tonight as well. So the first thing I want to show you. So I was talking to Jenna, and she suggested putting skulls inside the globes. So look what we did. So first of all, let me show you. I got this mold from Michael's. Okay, and it's a silicone mold, and it's meant for, candy or icing or, whatever. So I tried to fill them real shallow. I'll use the back of one of these and I'll put the camera down to show you. So I'm just going to lay these on here, but you can see some of them are real thick and some of them are real thin, because I didn't know how that was going to go. Because now these molds are designed, obviously, so that you can put some of the little trinket things that they have all around it inside the mold. Now I have another one that's setting up here, and this one, I used this stuff, and I'll turn the camera up. This is one kind of resin. This is called mixed to mold, but this is called a ceramic resin. So that's one kind, and I do like the ceramic resins. If you watched my, it was on Statement Designs of the outdoor decor, and I did the flower pots, I used all that for these. So it's fun stuff. Let me go back here. So that is setting up, and sometimes like the water part of it rises. I can see that, and that's what happened with these. I had too much water in my mix, And it really, they still set up, but I had to dump the water off of it. So I can tell these are setting up. They have about an hour time, and it hasn't been nearly an hour. So we'll let that set aside. But I just wanted to show you, I just had enough resin to pour all those little molds. So I poured them in our snow globes. So in my mold, I had laid the skull down like that, and then poured. So with resin, a lot of times when you put something in there, you can get a bubble. So this guy has a bubble on his nose and one on the back. I'm going to try to fix those using another kind of resin. So this clear resin that I used, I have so many resins, different resins going on. So I used this stuff, which is clear cast epoxy. Okay. And this is a 2-part resin, and this takes 24 hours to set up. So I've been busy since the last time, making these molds. But like I said, we got bubbles. So we're going to fix that using UV resin. So let me put the screen down, and I'm going to try to get this UV thing over here, and we're going to try to fix these little bubbles in there. Now, it shouldn't be one of those things that really is bothersome, but I just want to try to see if I can get it fixed. So I'm moving the little lamp, the UV lamp in here, and this is just like, you use at the salon if you get your nails done, which I don't, obviously. But I'm going to use this resin, which is the clear hard type of UV resin. Okay. So all I'm going to do is put a little dab of this stuff in this little hole. There it comes. I'm going to give it a minute to settle. Then we have one on this. I don't know why the nose is just kind of, I think what I probably should have done instead of just laying that on there was to pour a little resin in first and then press the little skulls down in. Okay. I'm wiping off my excess. I still want to keep it smooth, but I just want to try to fix that. Okay, so this little thing has a little shelf in here. I always call it my easy bake oven, and it's on for 2 minutes. Snow globes are the new crack. I watched a couple videos that used a heat gun to eliminate the bubbles. Yes, you can do that. I'm going to put the screen back up again while that is baking. So when I pour the resin, so for instance, the kind that I used to make these, oops, forgot that's in there. The kind that I used to make these, you can use a lighter or a heat gun to get any bubbles out. Another thing they recommend is to stir it really slow. You tend to want to stir it really fast and get it mixed up well, but the thing is that adds more bubbles to it. So stir slow and use the heat to get rid of bubbles. So I can't wait to show you the snow globe project. But while that's cooking, I'll show you what I've been doing. So I made a couple more of the black, and this is tough cast resin. This is a 2-part epoxy that cures in 10 minutes. Now it's like amazing casting resin, only this is tough cast black. So now apparently the Alumilite makes amazing casting resin in black, white, and tan. So I'll have to try all of them. Because I really do like the Alumilite project or products, but I happen to have that. So I also have a couple more snow globes here that we're going to do some fun things with. So I've been busy. Okay, so that turned off. So let's see. Well, it didn't quite cure that, so I'm going to put it back in again. Actually going to scoot this one over and do them both at the same time. So we'll finish that one up. I'm thinking that what we're going to do is put the Dragonfly glaze on the back of it, and then use the gilding wax and then see what we've got with that. So if the hole doesn't fill up, it's not a big deal. This was an experiment. All this stuff is kind of experimental right now, because especially the last thing that I'm going to do. But it's just really a lot of fun. So while I'm waiting for that, let's kind of do what we did last week and paint this with the Dragonfly glaze. I don't know why I want to say graze and oh, good. You're only texting at a stoplight. So should we tell them we have a road trip planned? So Jenna, you have a show, like a market kind of situation, craft show going on September 20th. And Gretchen is going to come pick my butt up. No, I'm going to drive to Gretchen's. And then we're going to drive to Jenna's shop and participate in the craft fair. So what's going to be fun is when I pick Gretchen up, we're going to go the day before and we're going to stay close to Jenna's and have a craft night in our hotel room. So I think that's going to be tons of fun. So let's paint both of these with the Dragonfly. Usually I put it out on something, and I do have some plastic here. I'll just use a little corner over here. I know, I can't wait either. I did send you a text today. Fall craft market, be there or be square. So that's what you're calling it, a fall craft market. I wasn't exactly sure. So I'll be looking for your promotional stuff, and I'm going to send you some pictures as soon as I get some more stuff together. And then I'll be happy to share your posts. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. So I hope I'm in the camera here, but I'm just using this Dragonfly glaze again on the black, which we loved last time, but then we put the decoupage on and we sort of lost it, and it was still dark. I think it would be pretty just with this alone, but see, apparently I can't paint and talk at the same time. Okay. So Jenna, you have the event posted on the page and you think it's pinned. Okay, cool. So you've done these before, I take it? Because you sounds like you have all the equipment and everything that you need and more. When I opened my shop like 10 years ago, I kind of quit doing stuff like that because I figured I was paying rent at my shop and I didn't want to haul stuff all over the place. But yeah, this is kind of fun because I wanted to bring you stuff anyway. So it just worked out that way. All right, so we have that going. And I have a bag with my So, okay, so the light went out. I'm not going to worry about filling the back on these, but I think, and tell me what you guys think, but let's try the Dragonfly glaze on the clear. Do you think, I'll tell you what, how about I paint one and then I leave the other one? You've done a few, even did a junk princess furniture flip one year and all the proceeds went to a local charity. That's nice. Okay, so what's your vote, guys? I think we should paint one on the clear with the Dragonfly glaze. See what happens. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. I'll leave the one with the hole in the back that I'm going to try to fix. Might as well do that while I'm painting. I'll leave that one clear. So I'm just, you can see, I'm just filling this little hole with the resin. Hopefully it'll flatten out. So I have some ideas too, what I'm going to do with these, because what do you do with them? One thing that was suggested was to make, so I'm just, no, there's all this stuff in the way. Let me move this. Okay. And I'm just painting the back of one of these with the Dragonfly glaze in the clear. So somebody said about making a stand with the conservatory, and I have one here. This is for another project that we're doing tonight, but I happen to have one made, but that's the conservatory mold. And somebody made a stand for the snow globe with that. So that is one thing you could do. You're 4 minutes from home. You can't wait to get there to see what I'm doing. Well, you be careful. Okay, I don't like this because it has brush strokes. I don't know whether they're going to disappear or not. I'm going to try to, this brush might be the culprit. I might need a softer brush. Let me try that. Yeah, I don't like those. They might disappear though. Let's see, soft brush, soft brush. That's a wet one. Charlene, I have all your stencil brushes here. That stencil Sunday video I did. I'm using one of them here because I think it's softer than the brush I was using. The stencil Sunday video I did, I used them in that for my stenciling. Always nice to have new stencil brushes. Okay, we're not really going to know what that looks like until it dries, but I can already see some shimmer from it. Okay, so while that is drying, we're going to go ahead with gold and do some gilding on it so we get an idea of what that one looks like. Okay, I'm going to put this on one more time since the last one didn't cure very quickly. I even have a garbage bag tonight. I'm trying to be trying to keep everything clutter-free here. So gilding wax, here it is. This is my trick when I can't get it open. I use my scissors. These were the scissors that I was going to keep, for fabric, and now they're crap scissors. So I have to get new fabric scissors. I still didn't get that. Okay. Problem is I work from home. I work from the garage. I work from all kinds of places, and so my stuff's everywhere. But I'm working on getting it more centralized to my home. Okay, I can already tell. I think I'm gonna like this better if I paint it a little on the back in gold or something. Or paint it first around the edges and then do this. The good thing about Dixie Belle's gilding wax is it's water-based. Darlene says, I love your Stencil Sunday project and video with the trees. I'm working on the sides of dresser drawers, going to either copy your trees or snowmen or both. Oh, that sounds really pretty. Yeah, that'd be really cool. That's a great idea for the sides of drawers. I used the actual stamp one time and did a table. And it was like a coffee table, and I just did the skirt of the table. And that turned out really well. And it sold pretty quickly. I love that color though for the trees. It was so pretty. Okay, so I have some gold on the globe, but let me put it under here. It's looking pretty cool. That dragonfly is not real noticeable, but you can see a little bit of a shimmer. Can you guys see that? I see it there. So I'm not sure what would make this better, but that's that. That Pro Top ball has already transformed with that outlined. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, this would be a cool one to put in a stand. And I think what she did was she used resin to connect it, like UV resin. So there's one thing about UV resin is that this thing only penetrates clear. Boy, I'm really at different one. And where did it go? Clear things disappear around here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so here's the difference between just being clear and having the dragonfly glaze. And what a difference the dragonfly glaze makes on the black. Like you can see that right away. So looks like a foggy, misty skull ghost. You like it? Okay, cool. Well then I guess we'll go with dragonfly glaze. But either way, I'm gonna put I think that this would look better if it was painted and then the gold on it. So I'm gonna do that on this one. Little bit of brush here. And I'm using white on the bottom instead of the black. We'll switch it up a little bit. Down into those details. And then we'll let that dry and we'll come back and we'll gild that. Because we have other things here going on. Okay. So, another little project I have here keep putting all these brushes in the bag here. So we're gonna try decoupaging again. Let me get some of this stuff out of my way. I'll put this up while we're doing that. You just got home. Show me again. Okay, I'll hold it up in the air. So far we have, and the lights are hitting that. But this one has Dragonfly glaze. I'm going to try to get it. Oh, the light. Dragonfly glaze in the back and just the gilding wax. Now, I think I'm going to paint on top of the gilding wax and then gild it again because it's just not that impressive or just showing up that much. Then this is the other one, and there's nothing behind it, like it's clear. And then I painted the base white, and then we're gonna gild it a little bit later. Okay, and also just put the Dragonfly glaze on these. So next I want to show you, so let's see. So I found this sheet on Pinterest, and I thought it was adorable. These little silhouettes, these scary silhouettes. So I figured since they're already white, we can try these. Now I'm going to cut the frames off of them just because they already have a frame. So I may end up fussy cutting because I think that the clear ones, I don't know, we'll have to think about this here. I'm wondering, okay, so last week we did the black raven and the scary lady, and they didn't show up so good on the black. So I think that means that we have to paint the back of it white. And we did fussy cut last week, so I'm gonna, sorry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut this one. So, so I want to do them both on the black ones, and good. I'm glad, Jenna. There, you know, practice. These are like the litmus test ones, and then, you know, hopefully we'll go into production. And the other thing that we have going on, so yet another kind of, I'm going to put the camera up again. Yet another kind of resin that I'm using is deep pour resin. And this is this stuff you do two parts A, 1 part B. And it's clear, but it's for deep molds. So I'm doing those skulls that are, they're about 4 inches tall, about 4 inches wide, I guess you could say, and putting these flowers in them. So they'll be clear, and they're getting these purple and black roses. And there's also a deep red. So I put 3 roses in each one, squished them in there. I hope they look all right. If not, then I'll have to try it with a smaller amount or something. So I'll keep the camera up while I'm fussy cutting here. And I'm going to paint the backs of these white. So that's our experiment for tonight. So we'll know if we're using black resin, we might want to paint it white. Or we might find out that that doesn't make a difference. And this is tough to fussy cut. It's very fussy. It's going to lose a little bit of detail here. Boy, this is a tough one because his neck is like basically on a pin. So did you guys play the Powerball? We did. Didn't match a thing. Like, out of all those numbers. Hard to believe. You love it, Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen, so when we go to the hotel, I thought if you wanted to, we could do UV resin. 100%, Jenna, huh? We could do UV resin if you want, because I can bring my little lamp. It's like an easy to carry project. And we could work on some stuff if you would like to do that. I don't know whether you ever used it or not, and might be fun. Or there's other things. If you want to do something else, let me know. So have the little guy cut out, and I'm going to cut her out. So I think when we do the clear one, I think we're going to leave the white, like the rice paper. I think that'll make it kind of interesting. Okay. So like I said, I'm kind of losing a tad bit of detail because it's just going to be too tough to cut out like these little things in her hair, these little braids or ribbon tie coming down. So I'm losing them. She still looks scary. You've not used the UV resin and would love to try it. Okay, well then UV resin it is. When I went to my cousin's in New Jersey, I took watercolors and stamping. So we do craft classes wherever we go. Almost done fussy cutting. Time is at 7:32. I have to make sure that I did really do a lot on one of my projects because I wanted to move that one along so we could get to the grand finale, but I definitely want to show you all these different things. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the spider, and I'm not going to fussy cut that, obviously, because I have plans for it. And I hope they work. Might be too small. We'll have to see. Okay. Little sup. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera down here and get my white paint out and flip these guys over and put a coat of white paint on there. Even though the background is white, I think this will help. I hope these dry quickly. I would imagine the rice paper will probably absorb that paint pretty quickly. I am being generous with it though, because I want it to do its job. The skinny little neck. Okay, well, his little neck came apart. So we're just going to have to, fortunately, decoupage is all about glue. So we're going to just glue them back together. It's like Humpty Dumpty, only a scary variety. I'm going to do her neck first, so that doesn't happen to her. Her neck wasn't quite as skinny as his, though. So what are you guys doing? Anybody crafting? And if so, what are you doing? I'd love to know. Okay. Okay, so while I'm gonna let that dry a minute, and then we're gonna look at the clear ones. And I think I decided, okay, so this one is for the snow globe project, the actual snow. So I have two. Ah, dog's killing me dead tonight. So I have two left. So we're gonna put the skeletons silhouettes in them. But I'm gonna hold it over here first to see what we want to cut and what we don't want to cut. So I think that would work. I'm gonna trace around it a little bit. These little guys are in the way here. I don't want to set anything on them because they're wet. And I don't want to use the dryer on them because they'll blow away. So, let's see. Got a Sharpie here. There it is. Okay. So I just want to, I can't get anything in the way. Come on, little girl. Don't fall apart on me. Okay, so I'm just gonna put her where I want, and it doesn't matter if there's any of that little black frame in there, but this will just give me a reference here of where basically that I need to cut. I'll make it a little bit smaller because of that frame. And then my other one, for him, I'll make this frame or this crystal ball. So I'll cut around here. Well, actually, I only need to trace down to the, or cut down to the bottom of the balls. Okay, I cannot, well, I can barely see where I traced, but. Put that on there again. I lost a little of the little of it in the printer. It kind of went off to the side a little bit for the guy. And okay. All right. I might have to keep that. Alrighty, so let's see. So he's in this one. This needs to go, move back a little. So I can go over it a little bit and then I can sand off the edges. Okay. Wait, do I have the wrong one? I have to make sure I have the right globe because I can't mess up my snow project. Hang on. Okay, where this is, I'm pretty sure this is the globe I need for my, and I can't find my plastic. Okay, I'll cut another piece, but I just have to use the right one, and I'll explain why later. You'll understand what I'm talking about later. Okay, that's the one for the snow globe. Okay, so this is for him, and this is for her. And let's get our Mod Podge out. Why do I prefer rice paper? It just because it is filmier, it's not a solid, like for this project, not for everything, but for this project. So this is basically reverse decoupage. So before you said looking at a mirror and a framed photo, trying out reverse decoupage to make a ghost appearance today, and planting some mums. Oh, cool. That's very fall activity. So I want to paint the paper as opposed to the globe, and I hope it doesn't run. I should have sprayed it. So that's a little tip, to spray it with like hairspray or clear sealer or something like that so that the ink doesn't run. But with rice paper, I usually don't have the ink run. So I want this. Okay, so that's going to work. So I'm just going to kind of smooth that out and coat the back of it. So, I mean, like the Made by Marley paper is definitely not rice paper. It's a very heavy paper. So it depends on what I'm working on. Okay, so this guy. I really could cut some of that off. Ah. Yeah, I'm going to cut a little bit of this off. No sense in dealing with all this extra paper. All right. So that's what he's looking like so far. And of course, that's going to dry darker. And that's what she is looking like. Okay, so now we want these guys, and we painted these. So hopefully they're going to show up a little better on here. That's not quite dry, but I'm just going to go over it. Sorry, I guess you can't see what I'm doing. You move up a little bit, get these guys out of the way. So I don't know whether she's going to show up any better on this black or whether it doesn't matter that I painted it, the back of it white or not. I just love how that Dragonfly glaze looks on the black. It's so shiny, but then kind of goes away if you put and this is gloss though. So we'll go for it. I don't remember whether we did the whole thing last week or not, but it's gloss, so we'll go for it. I think we'll still be able to see it. If not, we can paint it again. Okay, so that's that one, and let's do This one, I have to remember that his neck broke, so I'm gonna do his shoulders first. You know, he has a really high hat, so I actually don't even need his shoulders in here. Hmm. I don't need most of his hat up there. Let's see here. Okay, dry time for them. Gretchen, the black one would look good with a skull on the front of it too. Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm wondering if I could pour it like that, you know, if it would go around it. Another experiment. You've been challenging me with these uh with these ideas. All right, so while that's drying, I want to show you something else real quick that's kind of half done. Oh, wait, I'm going to need that. So I saw Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse do a really cool, I'm going to put the screen up here. Thanks, Jenna. She did a really cool project. She had a paper mache book. Well, I don't have a paper mache book, so I used a box, and you can't really see it that well, but on the inside, I just painted it white, and I used that letterpress stamp. And then also on the edges, I tried, well, I see I smudged, and I can go over that again. But what I did was, and I don't think you can see it, but I used the stamp from IOD that looks like wood grain. So it kind of looks like pages on the side. And I want to put Velcro in there so it closes up a little bit. But here's what we're going to do with this one. So let me make sure I do the right one. So this is going to go on here. And we're going to reverse decoupage the spider on that one. So let me do that real quick. I'm just going to kind of cut it out willy-nilly because it really doesn't matter because you won't see it. So let me put this down. And get all this stuff out of the way. Okay. So that'll still kind of have a frame on it, which is okay. Along came a spider, that's right. And where did my, oh, I already put my brush away? That was dumb. I am Little Miss Muffet. Not eating curds and whey though. Well, whey protein every now and then. I'll have a protein drink. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but I probably should cut this off, but like I said, you're not really going to see it, so I'm just going to put it on just because. Okay. Now, I'll show you what I'm going for here. I'm gonna let that dry a minute, and I'm gonna start the grand finale snow project. Okay, I'm really nervous, guys. Should I be coming down, or am I seeing it backwards? Should you be coming down? Should it be coming down, or am I seeing it backwards? I'm not sure what you mean. Should it be coming down? I'm setting these aside, and I will wait for your answer. So basically, guys, I'm going to show you real quick on this one because it's going to be, oh, you know what? It will matter, this extra stuff on here. So let me get rid of some of that. I don't know if I have everything under the sun on this table. I don't know whether I have I do have sandpaper. Okay. The spider, yes, he is coming down from, oh, you're right. Oh, Gretchen, I messed up. It's not dry. Hopefully I won't rip it. Cool. Thank you for saving me. Ah, good catch. That would have kind of been ruined the whole thing. All right. All right, let me regroup a little bit. So the idea on this one, I'm gonna just put the camera up a second. I'm glad you did. Okay, so the idea on this one, it's gonna have like a binding on the side. It's gonna have this little book plate on the front. Then this is gonna get gold on it, and it's gonna be on the front there, but the showstopper, and I'm not going to take the time to unravel this. I'm just going to set it down so you get the idea, but it's going to be lit from the inside and this will show through. So this is going to be one of those things that I'll have to take a picture of later and show you because it's not done, but it was so cute. She did that. I mean, this is a big set too. I would get a smaller set and I would like glue it. You can blanket or whatever, but I mean, I would glue it in there. But that's the idea with that one. But I will finish it and post it for you guys to see. So here's the deal. I wish I could find that little piece of paper plastic that I cut, but I'm just going to have to cut another one. So let me tell you this story. Cool. I'm glad you guys like that one. I can't say it's like a totally original idea. So, now I'm trying to find another piece of plastic to show you, because what I want to show you is kind of like this journey that I went on with this. But so I want to make an actual snow globe. Okay, I want to make it snow, and I want to put like a bladder, if you will, inside that has liquid and snow. So the problem is that there's not a lot of real estate here. There's not. They make these resin charms. So what they do is they have it's a mold that actually has like a cavity in it. So that's about this thick. So sure, you can do that. But I'm trying to do it with this. So I'm going to put the screen down and show and tell. So anyway, I bought this. Oh, here it is. I can show you. So I bought this plastic from Michael's. And it's real heavy. It's like basically a replacement for glass and a picture frame. So I knew when I cut it that it was going to splinter. I thought it was really going to crack worse than this. And then when I held it up against here, the last cut I made, I don't know whether you can see that or not. I forget which camera I'm going to, but the last cut I made, I totally cut into it. Then I thought, well, maybe that's a happy accident because I can put my liquid down in through there. But here's the thing though, and you can't really see this, but there's not much give in here. There's not much room in there. So it's really not gonna allow much room for anything to float around. So I thought I needed something more flexible. And here, with every Iron Orchid Designs product, we get a free sheet of Mylar. So I'm going to put the camera down. So that's where I'm at with things. I decided that might be a little more flexible. Now keep in mind that we don't know if this is going to work or not. What if you push it into one while it's still pliable while you were pouring, then pour another one and set it on while it's wet, and it will bond together and the two will make one. The problem is with that is you have to use baby oil in order to, so you have to put the stuff in that's going to move around. That would harden, and you wouldn't see it move around. That would be the problem with that. Good thought though. And I had even thought about like hollowing out a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol on here, spray alcohol. That's one thing when you're working with resin to have around, because it's great to get it on your fingers or whatever. And I do use, I do thoroughly recommend using gloves every time, no matter what resin you're working with. And if you're pouring those deep pour resins, definitely one of these. This is an N95 mask, and I always use it whenever I'm doing that. So, okay, so I have so many partial skulls and everything here. So here we go on our journey here. So I don't know whether you can see. Can you see? Okay, so I am just gonna cut out. So that's the thing. This is much easier to cut too. I'm tracing around it. And then I want to cut slightly inside the line. All right, say a prayer this works, guys. I think it'll be really cool if it does. And I think that there will be, you know, ways to innovate if I keep doing it, you know, if I get it figured out. And then I think there'll be Snow Globe Part 3, baby oil. Yeah, you could use glycerin. I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and baby oil seems to be the one they suggest. So, okay, so I want to make sure that that fits in there. Okay, and it does. So now I'm going to use, here's the part that makes me nervous. Okay, now let me think about this a minute. Okay, I want to make a little hole in here because that's where I'm going to insert the baby oil. So I'm just making a little hole. Because I'm going to be using a pipette, or however you say it, to insert it. So I want to make sure that hole is big enough for that. This is a scribing pen. I bought it, I don't know, a while back. And believe me, I use it all the time. I've never scribed anything on metal, but I use it for everything else. You think it will? Okay, I like your positive attitude, Jenna. Okay, And I'm going to have to wipe this off with the alcohol too, because I'm getting it all sticky. Okay, here's the part that concerns me, that I'm going to get this all over the place. So I just want to, now this is clear UV resin. And I just want to go along the outside. Sorry about the dog. And I can't even mute the microphone right now, so hopefully he'll stop. There is just like this little lip on the back of there. Now I need to make sure that this is all solid. Okay. And where's my alcohol again? Just want to wipe this off and make sure it's clean. Okay. My fingers are sticky. That's not good. Okay. So okay, that wasn't good either. That I'm not happy with that. I just kind of dropped it on there. Okay, I'm still gonna keep progressing though, because you know what I forgot? The snow. All right, hang on. I'm gonna have to take it off anyway. Okay, that's all I'm putting on there, because I just needed to stay in the confines of this, and hopefully what I'm hoping for is that this is flexible enough that enough baby oil will actually push it out a little bit. So guys, you're experimenting with me here, so all right, getting that lamp over here. So let me tell you about something quick about resin. So UV resin, here's something I tried earlier. I'm going to pull this back out and show you. Okay, so these cured. I had too much water in it though, but what's it called? The mix and mold. Suspense is killing me. I know, me too. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I'm having my doubts over here. Get rid of some of my junk. Okay, so these little shallow things. See, that one broke. But anyway, these little shallow, the animals over here, I tried to squinting your eyes really tight, fingers and toes crossed. Cool. Okay. I tried putting resin in these, UV resin. So UV resin does not want to penetrate anything that isn't clear. So if the resin is dark, it's going to be hard to get the light through. If the mold is dark, it's not going to go through. So I was trying to use a colored resin on this dark mold. It didn't work. So I don't know whether it's still around here. I tried a little brown fox. Here it is. So I pulled the little fox out and it was still sticky underneath. So I put both the mold and this in by itself, and the mold, it cured that, and then you could see all the detail on it. But it just doesn't work together. So I was hoping that would be a cute thing to do those little gibbets with, and things like that. But anyway, I'll try it again. So I got a little fox. You can see that or not, but a little fox out with this other stuff. So, because I was thinking right away, earrings would be so cute with these little animals. My gosh, there's little bunny rabbit. So anyway, I digress, but I'm still, my thing's still cooking. So while that is doing that, let's do a couple things here. First of all, let's take the pipette and get it ready. Have baby oil here, so I'm gonna put, oh, it has one of these little caps on it. Doesn't that just figure? Okay, I'll squirt some in the cap. All right, so you put that down in there, you squeeze it, you put it down in, and then you lift up, and that's how you fill it. I don't know how much we're gonna need. I'm going to, oh, it smells good. I love the smell of baby oil. All right, guys. Well, here's the thing. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but the snow, there's a little snow moving around in there anyway when you shake it. There is a way of doing this dry, but I'm gonna attempt this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I can see I'm getting a little bit of it in there. Or is that on the top? Yeah, that's on the top. Hang on. Let me wipe that off. I can't tell if I have any in there or not. Let me, okay, I'm gonna get this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna pour a little bit more of this in here. And get a little bit more in the pipette. Okay, we have a pretty good amount. Let me try to fill it. Okay. Alrighty, now I'm gonna try and make this hole bigger here. Where is it? That's weird. I feel like it sealed up whenever I had it on the UV lamp, but it shouldn't. Okay. Okay, Houston, we have a problem here. Okay, this lifted up from the side. I'm gonna give it one more try with some resin to try to seal it again. It might not work now because it might have oil on it. I'll try and wipe it and see what we can do. I'm not totally discouraged because I feel like it can be done now. I feel like I'm on the right path. Okay, I see what the problem is here. That's further down, and I'm putting the resin way up there. And I don't know whether there's oil in there and it's sticking on oil, but we're going to go back to the easy bake oven for a minute here. And I should have my gloves on. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, what if next time you fill your pipette and then attach the plastic and seal it around the pipette and then pull the pipette out? Fill the pipette and then attach the plastic and seal it around the pipette. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think that might be kind of hard to do. I don't know whether I'm on the right path with the kind of plastic I'm using. The thing is too, it's just I might try doing it again with a shallow pour, you know. I'm just putting the gilding wax on this the skull that I painted the base white. And I'm going to go around the edge with the gold and see if that does anything. And then seal the hole where the pipette was. Yes, that is what you're supposed to do, but I don't know. What if the next time you fill the pipette and then attach the plastic and seal it around the pipette? If you seal it around the pipette and you pull it out, then you're going to pull the whole thing out because it's sealed. I think, because the resin's going to harden. All right, let me get a little gilding wax on this guy. The gilding wax on that black, it just comes alive. All right, so again, I'm a little disappointed in these. Don't put the resin where the pipette is. Okay, well, I'm still not picturing, because if you're holding the pipette in there, how am I going to put it in the thing to cure around the edges? I love the details around this. Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the right path with the process, but I just think I need to, maybe focus on just that and try not to do it while I'm live. That might have something to do with it, but I'm still, like I said, I'm not upset about it. Okay, and then here's her. I'm not in love with these ones because they don't show up at all. So my favorite ones are definitely the clear ones. You're seeing it in your head, it's just not coming out of your mouth, right? Okay, so these ones are my favorites for sure. I do love those. So that was Jenna's idea, and I will also let you know how the skulls are coming along. And of course the book. So, oh, then there's these guys. Forgot about them. They're still drying, and once we get the gold on them, I think they're going to be pretty cool. And they need sanded and all that. And then we have the book too. This is still curing. I am going to try this one more time before we go, to get some oil in there and see if it's sealed. Yeah, I love those guys too. Okay, I'm thinking that's sealed. All right. Okay, I think that's decently big, but this thing's kind of flexible, so it's hard to get it in there. there's another thing I'm going to invest in too before trying this again. And it's a bottle with a metal, I forget what the tip was called. But it's a real like needle nose tip. That would definitely get in there, a metal tip. Crystal balls are looking good, and you have the time to figure it out for the snow. Yeah, I will. I will get it figured out. I know I will, because it's a mission now, you know. I could just get that thing. Whoops. You know, if you didn't want a hole in it, that would be when you'd be putting a hole in it. But now that I want a hole, I can't get a hole. Like I said, we'll work it out. I think some of it's going in. I think it's actually going in. Oh, yeah, Gretchen, that's a good idea. Love all of your snow globe renditions. Thanks, Charlene. I hope to have some more successful rendition completions. Okay, so it needs more in there, but it's gonna work. Can you see it in there? I might try it again and try it dry too, because that almost seemed like that was going to work. A glue syringe, yes, and I have those. I definitely will have to try those. Yep. So yeah, that's what's happening. I have syringes. Why didn't I think of that? Huh. Well, that's why I have you guys. Yes, your great minds think alike. Okay, so we kind of sort of made it snow. And you know what? It's too early for snow anyway, right? You know? So I'll tell you what, let me get you back here. And I kept you very late. It's 8:18, but I'm so glad you were here with me. And I'm going to finish up all these fun little projects and do something with them, put them together on something. I did think, we're talking about things to do with them. So these little wooden things up here, I think they would look cool on them, you know. I think that would be a fun thing to do. Could even put a hole in them, maybe. So anyway, so the answer, can I make it snow? Kinda. Maybe next week. So I do have all kinds of fun projects lined up for the next couple weeks, but I'm going to get this snow globe thing. I'm going to get it. So I appreciate you being here. I love you guys, and I hope you come back for more. Gretchen, check your text message and give me an answer. Maybe you already did. I always put it on Do Not Disturb whenever I'm on here. But I appreciate you guys being here. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Mwah. Bye.